Okay. Hello and welcome everyone to the Design Thinking live session number 3 for this semester. This is this session is primarily aimed at one set of people. Those are our exam taking learners. Okay. So there are, I think, in a couple of weeks we have the exams. So I just wanted to make sure that there are no butterflies, there are no unexpected surprises or anything. So just wanted to clarify or clear the air on that. Okay. So with me I have Siddharth. Say hello, Siddharth.
Hi everyone, glad to see you all back and hope you're preparing well for your exam.
Yes,
I'm,
yes.
I'm ready to start.
So Siddharth, I'm going to flip. Usually in our sessions, you ask the questions and I answer them. This time I'm going to turn the other way around principle. I'm going to turn it around and make you the person who's going to answer this question, the important question. Okay, come on,
Yeah.
you've got so many questions from me in the past. So
Yeah.
Siddharth has taken my course in college, and then after that he's been applying design thinking in his own products. He showed that in front of you in the camera, in front of the camera, along with his team. And he still uses it, design thinking, on a day-to-day, on an
Right.
almost daily basis, in his company. So, Siddharth, if you were a learner on NPTEL preparing for an exam for design thinking, what would be your advice? What would you do? What would be your advice to learners taking this exam? Now that this
So
is what the fourth semester, right now.
this is the fourth semester we are doing. Yeah. So if I was the student taking this exam for the semester, I would concentrate on trying to apply the principles I've learned on as many examples as possible. Try to uh, try to look at problems around me and try to apply design thinking, the East methodology which we've been learning in the videos, and try to apply the similar methodology in solving every problem we see around us. More the number of problems we solve, we get more familiar with the concept. We get it kind of becomes like a muscle memory to us. That is how it has become to me right now, since we practice design thinking as a principle right now rather than a concept or a theory. So, as simple logic for me is to try applying the East methodology in as many problems as possible, and it becomes like a muscle memory, like I said. So, coming to the exam point of view, I would say uh, if we can apply design think if we can look design thinking in application terms, in terms of use cases, trying to understand design thinking in different industries and different use cases, I think attempting this exam should be a walk in the cake or walk in the park.
Walk in the park. Okay.
Yeah.
Or a cakewalk. Okay.
Or a cakewalk. Yeah.
So the follow-up question is, how important are the assignments and what all they did in the videos? Should they watch all videos end to end, or the assignments, or what do they need to do in terms of preparation?
First recommendation would be learners should be thorough with the videos, because the concepts are not going beyond these videos. Everything, whatever they need, whatever they're supposed to learn, is there in the videos. That is my first point. And in terms of getting into the questions, there's not really much. I think you've already given beautiful stories along the course, and you've given good number of examples. And I think students are familiar with examples in each stage, how they've connected, how you starting from the fourfold path of Buddhism, how you connected those fourfold path into these four methods of design thinking, then the three musketeer story, then the elephant story. So I think if we've understood the examples at the core level, I think just learners should be pretty familiar with how each stage is applied, and I think there's nothing beyond these examples or videos which we need to look at. And coming to this examination, I'm expecting it to be highly application based. So I would, like I said before, I would try to apply design thinking in as many number of use cases as possible. And there's not really much theory to it. Like we keep saying it, it's more of practice and practice. Like that's one thing I learned from you. Practicing design thinking in as many applications as possible makes it a like again how we do it right, how we do it every day. So that's what I can think of, sir.
Okay, that's short and sweet. Okay, so on that front, since you talked about Buddhism inspiration, we released the book last time.
Yeah.
This is Karmic Design Thinking. It's meant as a companion for this course on design thinking itself. It has many of the stories that you've heard in the class, in the videos. I meant in the videos. There are many more assignments as well, and we've also designed it so that it serves as a companion for you to take it on the field also. So beyond the course, you can still use it. There are places where you can scribble notes. You are the curio in going out there. So curious story is in detail also in this book. And you can write down notes. There are further references that you can read up also towards the end. I have given lots of references as well. This is, all thanks to learners like yourselves who have inspired me to document everything in a book, because many of you ask, can we have a book for the course? So here it is. So here's the book for the course. So your wish has come true in this. Okay. So that's what I wanted to say. That I agree with you 100%, Siddharth, that design thinking is very, very extremely application oriented. So we have not told you anything in the entire course which we have not tried it ourselves and practiced it ourselves, learned, stumbled, made lots of mistakes, and all that is what is covered in the course itself. So we highly recommend that you apply it into problems that you see around yourself. Maybe if in this pandemic lockdown scenario you're restricted to not going outside, you can be at home, you can help somebody at home. How can you make their life better? So that's where we would start off. So even preparation for the exam, like Siddharth rightly pointed out, 50% is on application oriented. There'll be a smallish case in which you'll have to apply design thinking, and all of this is going to be multiple choice, of course, or multi-select questions. So, but if you have absorbed the concepts well, then it should be like Siddharth says, walk in the park or a cakewalk. So, many of our students in the past have told us that we have rehearsed what went on in the videos, read the transcripts, and now we have the addition of a book plus what they've learned, they've applied it, and they've found it to be quite straightforward once you've done all this, of course. So that's the 50%. The second 50% is going to be recall based. Many of the similar pattern questions would have been in your assignment. So I reiterate what Siddharth just said is if you're thorough with the videos, if you've watched the videos, you've answered your multiple choice questions, then this should be quite straightforward as well. Okay, so that's the main reason why we wanted to have this session in December, just before your exams, so that people are ready to take on the exams and not have any butterflies at all. So, so over to you, Siddharth. Now we'll go back to our usual pattern. You're the man with the questions. So, if there are any questions, I can see if I can answer them.
Yes, sir. We have a couple of questions posted on the Google Sheet by our learners.
Okay.
And I'd also like to request our viewers to post any questions in the live chat in the YouTube channel. If we are happy to take those questions as well.
Yeah.
Correct. So
sure.
Yeah.
Why not?
Moving to our first question, sir. I am a faculty in finance area, have been assigned this paper for the first time in MBA. Could
Okay.
you please suggest some cases which can be discussed in the classroom with the students, and what should be the pedagogy while delivering this course? Though I'm trying your method NPTEL course in brackets, but still any other methodology, if there is any other methodology, please suggest.
Okay, great question. I take it from two perspectives. This question, one is it's great. Okay, first of all, congratulations on taking design thinking as a study subject itself for your students. That's brilliant
Right.
in management. So
In management.
kudos to you for that. The main how we normally typically in a workshop, which is what we plan to do it's in a workshop style. My all my design thinking courses all run like workshops, where the theory that you see in videos in on NPTEL is the basis on which we build on, and the students or the learners, or if you have students, students actually take these concepts and apply it in any case that they are interested. So the pull usually comes from the students. So students identify which kind of case they can take up. Okay. So it could be something that's right around their campus. It could be something that's right around their homes that they want to improve. So first, before even starting off with applying design thinking, we would start off with what is the case that you want to take up. So this is one path that you can go down, is to give it back to the students, saying you guys pick up what you want to improve, whose life you want to improve. So that's one method to do that. The second method that I have seen, that some students come back to me, some learners come back to me and said, I really can't choose. Can you suggest something? So I have a few options that I already have. For example, it could be a cafe. It could be something that they're able to relate to. It could be a product case. I would give them. I would pick electric fan, or a cafe service, or it could be, I don't know, you can take a keyboard, musical keyboard that you see here. So you could take a product or service and ask them to improve on this. But one twist I would add is, I will give them a target persona, a target customer segment, which is very different from their own, sort of segment. So what normally happens is that they pick up, if they are 24-year male, they would pick up a persona also 24-year male. So which does not really exercise their empathy, because they are looking at it from their own perspective and not from somebody else's perspective. So that's where the twist I would give them. In case of the second path, I would give them, can you do 60-year-old lady in West Bengal? Okay, completely different geography. If you're not in West Bengal, if you're say in Rajasthan, and you could give them a persona of a 60-year-old lady from West Bengal. So that could be the persona who's now sitting, who's trying to get a telecommunication connection, new connection for a telephone, a smartphone. Okay, so now they have to think completely differently, because they are not a 60-year-old lady from West Bengal. So now they have to look at what is it that a 60-year-old person from West Bengal will go through, what is her pain point. All that comes in empathize. Okay, so this is where the starting point would be. Even in places where they take up their own case, I would strongly recommend that they take up a persona, a customer segment which is not their own. Okay, so path 1, path 2, this is where it is. Where they converge is going to be extremely application oriented. So we go module by module, like how we did it, exactly how we did it in the videos. Module 1 would be empathize, where they would have to understand and watch and observe people in the setting, if wherever it is possible. Okay, I understand we are in a pandemic situation. You may not be allowed to go outside a certain perimeter, if that was the case of some of the students. Then in a remote setting, also it's possible. I have conducted workshops in remote settings also. They can call up, video chat, and find out how is it that they interact with the product, how is it that they interact with the service. Things can be found online. Okay, so that's how I would ask them to do the empathize, then do the analysis, then do the solve, and then finally you develop a prototype in the test and give it back to the customers that they started off with. So I would do it entirely application oriented. The pedagogy will be extremely oriented towards student centric approach. So this is human centric design, so this is a student centric course. So always the focus is on what is it that they are doing with their customers. Okay, the theory is given in 1 hour shots, and most of the course is around applying it on the field. Okay, so this is if you are on the receiving end, if you are a student taking the course, then I would say this. We had been saying the same thing, which is application oriented. But if you're a teacher teaching the course, also the same applies to you. Has to be student centric. So we keep it student centric all along. Okay, so that was my trial to answer. I don't know if I left any parts of the question, Siddharth.
I think you covered all of it, sir.
Okay. In fact, the cases. Sorry, one more place we can for giving them, explaining how design thinking works for a case. You can either use Siddharth's case that we recorded on this course. You can show them as a live case. We have actually built on. Could be one you can take, or you can go on the internet and look for design thinking and your field of study. You will find plenty of canned cases that you can showcase to your students, saying this is what is a case study in your field of study. There are plenty. I mean, you just design thinking and your field, mechanical engineering, software, HR, I don't know, you name it, you will find cases on that.
Right.
Yeah, that's about it.
If I go back to my college days when you were teaching us design thinking, I remember very well. You used to give us that theory in the morning session. Say it was a full day workshop for like say 4 or 5 days. You used to give us theory about empathize in the morning session. We used to go interact with. We have to find a problem and having a huge campus. We remember talking to security guards, then our friends in the mess who work in the mess, then people from the administrative staff. We used to look at problems, try to understand that, empathize with them, and usually it was a group activity. So we did all the analysis part, solving part as a group thing. We used to brainstorm together. So it was a full day workshop for like 4 or 5 days, and I remember it very well. But that's one thing I wanted to show. That's where I went back when you were talking about teaching design thinking in MBA.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Yeah. Right, sir. So moving on to our next question, how can we use design thinking in economics?
In economics, wow, that's a vast field. In economics, I don't know. This is where are the human touch points? So that will be the first question. I am not an economist, so I don't know much of the field, but I can ask. I can drop certain general hints towards how design thinking could be helpful. Is where are the touch points? So suppose, let me imagine that you are developing a report, economics-based report, a macroeconomic report, whatever little knowledge I have, I'm going to sort of say that, say a macroeconomic report on, something going up and down, okay? So your design thinking would be, how do I cater to the particular audience that I'm targeting? Okay, so for example, I have seen books written for 11-year-olds which explains how the stock market works. So what you would actually use there is completely, completely different for 11-year-olds compared to what you would do for, say, a CEO of a bank, right? So totally depends on who is consuming the report. So wherever there are human touch points of your output, those are your customers. So if you're in the field of economics, you have a certain job, and your output is being received by another person. That's where design thinking starts, right? If you're just going to use it for your own consumption, you're just studying the market or studying economics for broadening your horizon, your knowledge horizon. You don't need design thinking. You can just keep reading, right? But if the moment you bring in another human being into the picture, design thinking immediately kicks in, right? So immediately you start looking at what is this person going to use it for? Who is this person who is consuming my report? Who is consuming my output? Okay, if you're teaching a class on economics, if there's a student, you can look at it from their perspective, saying, are they getting this? Is this going to be useful for their job hunt? Okay, how can I make my lessons aimed at them sounding smart in front of their employers? Now you're already starting with the empathize questions. Okay, so this is what is meant by putting yourself in your customer's shoes. If you're a teacher in class, your students are your customers. If you're you're writing a report which is either generated or you yourself are putting it together, who is consuming this report? If you're a journalist, economics, economic times journalist, then you need to keep in mind who's my typical person who reads my news report of a particular economics event. Okay, so that's as far as I can imagine. Siddharth, can you think of any other places where economics could be?
That's
So one is the
it.
economist, one is the economics teacher. Third is a person in a bank generating a report for their customers. So these are three scenarios I could think of.
Yeah, and like you again
So that's pretty much.
yeah, a person working in the economics as an economist in the some level of bureaucracy, then
Okay, that's a good one. So if you're economist in a bureaucratic setup, then the person who will receive whatever is it that you do with your economics theories is automatically becomes either it's your boss, or if you're reporting to a person, that person becomes your customer, and now you have to cater to that person. How can I make their life better? So that's going to be your question in terms of your own output. So you can look at it. A great use case scenario.
yeah, great, cool, sir, super. So
Okay.
moving to our next question, this is something you always wanted to do, that is
Okay.
bring Android development and design thinking together.
Okay.
So the question is how to develop design thinking skills for developing mobile applications.
Oh yes, this is amazing. Okay, yes, you're absolutely spot on, Siddharth. It's something that is close to our hearts. I mean, both of us together, we like applying design thinking to definitely for app development. So they are actually tightly bound according to us. So it's the app is going to be used by somebody for some purpose. Okay, so that's why the app is there. If you question the basic existence of an app, okay, it is there to solve some problem or problems. Okay, many times it's in plural. Okay, so we will have to look at it from there. If you already have this app, okay, then you can, in the empathize, starts off with your observation of how do they use this app. What are some of the what is their journey? If you look at it from a customer journey standpoint, what is their journey when they? You can start off with if installation itself is key important to you, or if it's already installed, it's something that's kind of people manage that. Then you can start off with I don't know. So the usage itself, whichever part you think is important, part of the app, the usage of the app, you can take that as the key part, and you can start looking at how is it that people interact with the app. In fact, a branch in computer science is called UI/UX. You may have heard of this. You may have studied this. It's called user interface slash user experience. Okay, so this field is nothing but design thinking. The same philosophy applies in both fields. It's exactly what companies which are app developers do. They bring in people from different walks of life, different personas, if you will, and they ask them to use the app and see what is it that they do with the app. Where are some pain points that is not comfortable for people? Where are some things that people really do very well, they're very happy about? And that's one part of it. The second is, once you find that out, then you also see where is it that they use in their life, in their walk of life. Okay, the overall system in which they use this. So you can also find out about that and do the analysis. So the EAST style kicks in then. In Solve, you can generate a lot of ideas on your own, or if you want to use the TRIZ toolkit, you can use it and generate a lot of meaningful ideas. Once you have these ideas, I would start building features to supplement to what I have. Of course, you wouldn't launch that immediately, as you already know. You would launch it phase by phase to a test audience, pre-alpha, alpha, or beta stage, whatever it is your software is in. You would do that, slowly release it to a small audience, find out feedback immediately, and fix those bugs, if you will. And that leads to your confirmation that some of the insights that you had in Empathize were indeed true or not. Some of the times it may not be right. So then you go back and you analyze and solve it again. So this is like a complete iteration of the EAST, Empathize, Analyze, Solve, and Test cycle. So you do this many, many times over, even before you launch that feature as part of your final app itself. So the entire thing I talked about, assuming that you already have an app, okay, in place. Now, if you're a developer, you don't really front end with the customer. You have your setup. I never go out in the field to test it. I would strongly urge to do that, because you get a completely different perspective of software development itself. Okay, that's my strong recommendation. But you are in a company, you rarely interact with customers, then the next best thing for you, not so recommended, but the next best thing you can do is you may have testers who will take your output, your development, and will test it in their own use cases. They know what the use cases are that your eventual customers will use. So they start using it. Now treat them as your customer and see how you can make their life better by imagining that they are your customers, and do the same EAST. Try to develop things within your code, within your environment, that makes stuff a lot easier for your tester. Okay, so eventually it is about the fact that you're making life better for somebody who's the recipient of your output, whether you're an Android developer, you're an iOS developer, you're a tester, you're a customer facing agent. It doesn't matter. If your job is going to be facing humans, unless you're holed out in an island and you don't have to interact with anybody, we are all very well knit. You are my customer, so I have to find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. This is my job, to make your life better. Okay, same way it is for you to find out what is it that makes your consumers of your app or your work better. So that's going to be your job as well. Right. Yeah, so that was my trial in answering this, giving a long answer.
Right. There's something I also wanted to add to this part, sir.
Sure,
Like
sure,
you,
sure.
yeah, like you mentioned, coders are usually not very comfortable going outside, connecting with their customers, trying to empathize with them. So what I've noticed recently in most of the app development companies is they've created a new job role, which is called as a product owner. And so
Yeah.
this the entire app development phases of empathize or the entire coding process is done by the project manager. It's a project for that company essentially. So
Okay.
the guy who handles this entire project is a project manager, like we all do know.
I
Since
see.
they are not very comfortable going to their customers and all, they have created a job role known as product owner, who's the mediator between the customer and these coders. So the product owner is the guy who essentially uh, applies our principles, design thinking principles, or any other innovative principles. Go understands his customers, bring out all the inputs, collects data, analyzes the data, and gives his learnings to his coders, and that's how
Okay.
they start coding. So this is one
Okay.
observation I've seen in recently in these app development companies. So yeah, somehow they are trying to put design thinking into their entire development pipeline. So
Nice.
which is a
Nice.
which is a great thing, of course. So that's what.
Very, very good example, Siddharth. I
Yeah,
agree that sometimes these specialized roles exist so that we may get people may focus on getting the inputs and trying to
right,
analyze it because
right,
uh, oftentimes for Android development or any other development or in fact even in manufacturing it's the same case that you're so tied up with this that you rarely have the bandwidth to go and visit
right,
and learn all that and that takes a lot of time and effort. So for that, if there are specialized roles, your interaction with them really helps in augmenting what you're trying to do itself. That gives you,
correct,
for me, it's
right,
still a second-hand experience. I would still say if you can shadow your product owner for a while, what they do in on the field and learn from that, then it actually supplements your own knowledge also, and your
correct,
development
correct.
becomes a lot a lot more rewarding because somebody where you'll be happy when you see somebody is actually using your input where your output rather output very well. So that's rewarding. Thanks,
Right.
Siddha. That's a good one. I know where this is coming from. This is from the course that you attended.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. In fact, I spoke to a couple of guys who've been working in app development companies, and they are
Okay.
very familiar with this role of a product owner.
Okay. Okay. Very nice. Very nice. So Siddharth did undergo a course recently, of which he told me about this, and I was intrigued. It is really a fascinating course. It's called Product Ownership. No, what is the
Uh,
course called? You can tell the learners. And where did you learn about this course? I mean, where did you attend this course?
I attended this course on Coursera. It's a
Okay.
course called Product Management, Digital Product
Product
Management.
management. Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah,
it's
perhaps
the trainer
such
is
a similar
called.
course exists on NPTEL as well. Yeah,
Hello, hello.
I can hear you, man.
Oh, your voice is cracking a little bit, sir.
Oh, okay, okay. I can hear you very well for some reason. Okay. Siddharth, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's. I think the network is a bit slow for me.
Check, check.
Is this better, Siddharth? Okay, hello. Can you hear me? Okay, I guess Siddharth is this is network or is it just me? We're still waiting for Siddharth to read me the next question. So in the meantime, I'd like to say that thank you for all the questions that you've asked in our discussion forum. So from now till your exam, we still on the on the discussion forum. If you have any questions at all regarding the exam, we'll be happy to take them for you. So we could certainly take questions for you on the discussion forum as well. Not an issue at all. We will do that. Okay. Okay, Siddharth is frozen. I thought I was. Okay. So yes, like I said, you can ask me questions, ask us questions on discussion forum. We'll be happy to answer them regarding the exams as well as regarding the regarding anything on design thinking itself. Okay. So one question I can see myself on the chat is the fact that why the proctored exam cannot be conducted remotely, like a remotely proctored exam, as in several parts of India, like Delhi, the third wave has come. It does not seem safe to go out. Okay, thank you for this question. You're right. It should be able should be possible to do such a thing. However, we have it's a decision that has to be taken at the NPTEL level where we can. Well, Siddharth is back. Siddharth, I was answering the question on NPTEL proctored exam being online. So why should it be physical? Because in some locations it may not be safe. So I truly empathize with this case, but unfortunately, I don't know at an NPTEL level they have to take that decision. I don't think at a course by course basis we can actually make the decision. Neither Siddharth nor I can get into that part of it. We'll make our strong recommendations to the committee, to the leadership team, but I think the decision will lie on them. I think we postponed the exams primarily because of the pandemic in the previous semester, but we decided to hold it, this semester with taking precautions, I suppose, in the exams. So that's as far as I know, Siddharth. Do you know anything about it?
Yes, there are, according to me, so there are a couple of theoretical subjects as well where students are supposed to theoretically answer and draw diagrams, which I'm not sure is possible on a laptop kind of a scenario. So that is one of the reason I can see why they're not trying to take it to the online platform, because they want students. There are subjects like biotechnology and medicine where they need to draw diagrams, which is technically not possible on a laptop. So that is the reason I feel they're still preferring the offline mode right now. But like you said, we have to do some sort of recommendation or design thinking to solve this issue.
Okay, that's not going to be possible within the next 16 days. I don't think we can come out with a
that's definitely not going to happen for this.
And all that within just 16 days. But yeah, we will keep this in mind. Thank you for bringing this up. We should keep this in mind for the future as well, which we will do. We will definitely do that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Moving on to our next question from our learners. Does design thinking also work for entertainment industry, while content creation, content writing for audience or special segment of audience like millennials or Generation Z?
Okay, great question. So the principle is quite simple and it's similar. Um, uh, the point of view is what they use in fact, lots of principles in design thinking in the customer journey map come from storytelling. So in storytelling, we actually use something called a point of view. Point of view is nothing but I don't know if you have read you've read Harry Potter, Siddharth, or was it a long time ago? Long time ago. Okay.
I'm not a Harry Potter. Lord of the
Okay,
Rings.
never mind. Lord of the Rings. Okay, Lord of the Rings. Okay, all right. Lord of the Rings is a bit old for my example, but anyway,
Yeah, Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter, and for you, even later now, Percy Jackson, Hunger Games. Hunger Games. Come on,
Hunger Games.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games. Yes, you
Yeah.
seem like a person who would enjoy Hunger Games.
Yes, Hunger
So
Games.
Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. I don't know. Even Indian movies, you can take. Let's say, when was the last one I saw? Never mind. So all these movies have in each scene is there is a point of view. Okay, point of view is the audience feels what the person with the point of view feels. Okay, they learn and feel what this person feels and learns. Okay, so if the okay, I may sound a bit archaic. Lage raho munna bhai. I know Sanjay Dutt's movie, the second part, not the first one, in which the protagonist, Sanjay Dutt's character, imagines that there's Mahatma Gandhi's ghost right next to him, right? So in that, we see that anything that Mahatma Gandhi in quotes tells out loud is what Sanjay Dutt's character already. Okay, so anything that he doesn't know, which is where he gets caught, and some part of the movie he gets caught because suddenly he's asked Gandhiji's mother's name, which Sanjay Dutt's character has no clue. So hence ghost doesn't know. Okay, in that he should know, right? But he doesn't know. So this is exactly how point of view works. Point of view works from we have one persona, like in design thinking, we have one persona. We follow the entire journey of that from start to finish, and that's and we see the movie in that. Okay, now this is from the movie perspective. Now from a moviegoer's perspective, always the movie is never for them, although they tell you that the movie is for masses, you can bring in anybody. It never is. It normally is catered at a particular target audience. Okay, now if you bring in other people and the movie is watched by other people, better, the more the merrier. Okay, so the movie is known to other people, is enjoyed by other people, it's great, but they always have a target segment in mind. So if it is a horror movie, then it's those people who enjoy the horror movie itself, right? The fear, fear, not fear mongers. So people who like. Do you like horror movies, Siddharth?
Yes.
You do enjoy a horror movie. I do. I enjoy horror movie. So clearly, if some movie director is thinking of a horror movie, they would test it with a set of people who like horror movies, right? So they'll have a test audience. In fact, lots of I don't know, but in India, majority of the sitcoms in the US, it's recorded in front of a live audience, and they will actually keep track of which and which scenes are appreciated by the live audience, keep them and delete the ones that don't really didn't really get a response. So in fact, those tickets are sold at a very heavy price, and people can actually watch movies being shot in front of them. It's like a theater but recorded. So the theater play, but it's recorded and is telecast later on. Okay, so it's definitely design thinking plays a a much bigger role than in product development. Product development, it's a sort of a recentish feature because we've been so product and service centric for so many years. And now we've started shifting and thinking about how to apply design thinking. But in movies, it is always audience centric. They always knew that there was a niche audience. So these art movies, you think, oh, then who's going to take it? But there is a niche audience for that, and they would cater for that alone. So totally depends on it's design thinking at work. In fact, lots of things that we borrow use in design thinking come from the movie world. Customer journey mapping for once, thing that Walt Disney himself used, and used it very heavily in his movies. Walt
Correct.
Disney definitely used a lot of it storyboarding in his movies.
Correct.
Okay, great question. Thank you so much for that nice question.
Also, one point I wanted to say is in terms of building a character for a movie. There's something we do as a use case, like pretty very similar to customer journey mapping, like you said, sir.
Oh yeah, totally.
Building the character for a particular scene, the script writer usually goes through the before, present, at the time of the incident, after the
Very
incident.
nice.
So this is
Yeah.
something I've noticed in content writers and script writers as well. So that's where they apply customer journey mapping in terms of building a character. So that's one point I wanted to add for this
Nice
particular
one,
question.
Siddharth. Yes, absolutely. In sketching a character for a movie, they wouldn't otherwise they won't appear as humans to us. They're
Correct.
relatable humans. They would appear
Correct.
as just cardboard people. I mean, there's 2D images anyway, right? So unbelievable. We need their backstory, which is the before and what's happening during the movie, and there's an
Correct.
epilogue. In movies they have it towards the when the credit roll is going on, suddenly they'll cut it, they'll show a scene, that's all
Correct.
epilogue, that's the after part of it, what
After
happens
school.
after, right? So
Right.
thank you so much, that is amazing. Yeah, in
Yeah.
character development in movies, it's big, it's really big.
Correct. Yeah. So that was that question. Moving on to our next question. Okay, you answered this question a lot of times before, but still,
I'm happy to answer them many more times also. Which one is this now?
okay. Can you please tell what other sources that we should study for appearing in the exam?
So one reliable source. One reliable source. This is a
Yeah.
book that is entirely written for this course. Content came from this course. We've added more to this, and this is your companion book. This is meant to be as a companion for this. And of course, there are more resources also. Jokes aside, I think. At this time in the discussion forum, I did not post it, but usually in every time I post a list of references that one could use. Can you please remind me, Siddharth? You're better at remembering things than I am. So if to post a list of references
Sure, sure.
to our learners. Yeah,
Sure, sure.
definitely we'll put that up there. I usually in the back of this book, I think there are a whole bunch of references.
Correct.
Maybe I can rattle off one or two of them. I really enjoyed a couple of books, which is wait a second. Yeah, by Carl Ulrich. I don't know. This is a professor from University of Pennsylvania. He has written a book on design, creation of artifacts. So this is a great book on design itself. You will see a lot of parallels between our course on NPTEL and his course on Coursera. The book also. I found it to be mighty useful, this course. So I would recommend that you can a simple search on the internet can I can type it out in our chat also, the name of the professor. Let me just put it out here. Professor Carl Ulrich's book on design. Yeah, this is the reference. I put it in chat. This is one ready reckoner. Of course, my own book is on the website. I will put it down there. on design thing. It's meant to be a textbook for our course, so you can take a look at it. Look at this also. I have just put it in chat so that you can take a look. If you're a teacher of design thinking and you would like to, or you want, you're a teacher and you want, or a head of the department, you want to propose this as a course to your college. There are some useful links in my website also, like the syllabus document, the table of contents, which can help you convince your management that design thinking is indeed a course that our students have to take, so that they can be better candidates for employment. There are that you can also use. I believe I should also have some, I don't know, I don't think I have the references. I think I have some references in the syllabus document also, if I'm not wrong. I will quickly share my, let's see if I can share my screen as well on this. Yeah, I forgot that we could share the screen as well. Just hang on, people. Yeah, let me. Just, I'm going to share my screen, Siddharth. Just let me know when you can see it.
Yes, sir. I can see your Amazon page.
Okay, so this is the book website in which you will find resources like the syllabus on top. If you click that, I'll just in a minute I'll show you, and the table of contents. Rest is all about what the methodologies are and about me and who have all used it, this method. That is there. But if you're a teacher, or you can download the preview, the first, I think 15 or 16 pages, you can see it. There are links on Amazon, Flipkart, and on Poti, where that's my name of my printer. The syllabus is here, where you can look at how many units, marks. If you're a teacher and head of department, you can look at this. You can look at all the stages that we have, and the reference books. So this is the question that I started off with. There are a few references. I should leave a link also. This one. This is Professor Ulrich's book, and additional learning resources. And this is unit by unit what you can teach as a course. Where all I mean the whole thing is there. Table of contents is from my book itself, in case you want to take a peek of what is inside the book. It's all there. So you will see that it's all modeled after our course itself. Curio is there, our hero, and the empathize, analyze, solve, and test, and finally liberation, the whole thing with bibliography. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. I meant to share last time itself. I forgot to show this. So yeah. Are there any further questions, or shall we call it a day? Or do you want to cover something else?
Nothing much. There's another question in our chat where one of our viewers asked, how are trees and arrays different from the model we studied in the course?
Okay, that's a great question. I don't think we'll have 6 minutes will be enough for that, but but I'll try my best. So TRIZ is a theory of inventive problem solving. Okay, so what Altshuler actually attempted was to come up with a formula for problem solving. Okay, so this is like a one-line summary of what TRIZ attempts to do, is to give you a formula for problem solving. Like you have mathematics, you have formulae, like the quadratic equation. If I give you a quadratic equation, you'll be able to solve it. There's a generic way to do it. For chemistry, there are generic ways to do it. There are you can solve for equations. But when it comes to problem solving in general inventions, there is no such formula. So Altshuler attempted to do that, and he came out with a formula. Okay, and that is documented in ARIES, the algorithm. It is the formula of how to solve a problem. But while doing so, Altshuler realized that he had come up with some theories that will explain how creativity works, and that is the theory of inventive problem solving. That is TRIZ. So ARIES is the algorithm or the formula, so to go back to my example, minus b plus or minus root of 4ac divided by 2a, which is the solution to a quadratic equation, is ARIES. So I told you a generic way to solve a quadratic equation. Whereas mathematics itself and the principles inside it is TRIZ. So that's what TRIZ ARIES is all about, okay, in total. And there are lots and lots of toolkits and lots of theories and things that work and how to work it. And there's a lot of detail in it, which would require, I don't know, a full-fledged 5-credit course to cover what is in TRIZ. But we don't have the time to do it in design thinking. In design thinking, we have these A and S in the EAST model. The analyze and solve, plug in TRIZ, but in a very, very simplified way, the essence of it. The one is the conflict of interest, the Porthos story of conflict of interest, and the solve, which is the Altshuler story of how he solved things and how you can use the, let's say, other way around principle. That is from the TRIZ. So these two are from the TRIZ toolkit, which helps us in design thinking. So we're not entire TRIZ toolkit itself, but only certain aspects which are convenient for usage in design thinking. We sort of taken it up, and that's what the attempt is to put it in there. So that's the difference of what is TRIZ and ARIES actually, and what TRIZ and ARIES is in design thinking. Okay, so that's my trial to answer. I didn't do so bad. 3.5 minutes I took.
Yeah, that was great, sir. That was great. And another question I wanted to answer for our viewers is about their hall tickets.
Okay. Yeah, this is important. Yes.
Yeah, so most of them are worried that they've not received their hall ticket yet. So I would say usually NPTEL releases their hall tickets 1 week to 10 days before the exam date, actual exam date. So,
okay.
But that is something learners don't need to worry about. They will get their hall tickets and they will know their exam center in like a couple of days from now. So that is one thing I wanted to tell our viewers.
Thank you so much, Siddharth. That's important. If any trouble at all, post it on our discussion forum. We'll be happy to answer queries on around because we know how important it is to have that on you. So please don't hesitate. Immediately post it on. No matter how many times you've answered this question, it doesn't matter. We will still answer it for you. I think that is key. We realize how and important your hall tickets are. So please feel free to post it on the discussion forum. We'll immediately get that answered for you. Okay. So yeah, thanks Siddharth for bringing that up. That's great. So I think we have a minute to wrap up. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for helping me out with questions and adding wherever I sort of stopped. And wish you good luck with your exams. Be confident. Things will be nice and easy for you. So hope to see you soon. And keep in touch through LinkedIn or email and through the discussion forums. We'll be happy to keep in touch. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Bye
you.
from my
And
side.
all the best, guys.
All the best.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye. 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 Bye, everyone. Stay safe.